Jocelyn, this is Paisley, and today we're doing a makeup tutorial with Mrs.Jenn for which can be used for performances, recitals, competitions, and more.
This is Paisley. We're gonna start with Paisley's makeup, and I'm gonna go step by step and show you how to do makeup for performance team, competition, or any kind of recitals that you have. The first thing, you're gonna start with moisturizer. I like this moisturizer because it is for sensitive skin and it's very versatile. You always wanna apply moisturizer with your hands so you can kind of feel the areas that you're putting it in and you're not putting too much on your face. Make sure you rub it in really good so there's no white streaks. Really focus on the dry areas, which are your cheeks and your nose and your chin and forehead. Our second step to makeup, and this isn't always necessary, but if you want to use a primer, I use Baby Skin by Maybelline. It's one of my favorite primers, and you just need just a tiny little bit of primer on your face. It goes a long way. And this goes before your foundation. Once you have the primer really smoothed onto her skin, the next step is gonna be foundation. You're gonna wanna pick a foundation based on your skin tone, and how you test foundation is I'm going to use the Unique Liquid Touch on Paisley today. The type of foundation isn't specific to what you like, it's kind of your preference. Paisley, just put your chin up a little bit. You always want to test foundation right here on the chin. So if you go like this, and when you rub it in, if that foundation just disappears right into her skin, that means you have the right color. If you see it streaky, that means you do not have the right color and you want to go lighter or darker. Okay? I like to use my hands a lot when I'm putting foundation on, especially for other people. When you do your foundation yourself, you can put it on with a sponge, a brush, or your hands. Close your eyes, Paisley. Make sure when you do foundation, you're going over the eyelids, you're going over your eyebrows, you're going down into your neck and under your chin, because we do not want to see a line right here or right here. You want to blend fully down into her neck, or your neck, sorry. Tuck in your lips, right over top of your lips. See how I had her tuck in her lips like that? Once I have it mostly blended in with my hands, I'm gonna come back with my sponge and just blend it up into the hairline a little bit, down into the chin a little more, around her nose. Our next step would be to start with her eyes. So when we do eyeshadow, we want to start by using a neutral shadow. I have two different brands here. I have an ELF brand, and I also have an Ulta brand, but this is kind of what you want to look for. You want to look for a darker brown, a lighter brown, and then a highlight in your makeup palette. I'm going to use the ELF brand on Paisley today. When you pick a brush for your eyeshadow, the first brush you want to choose would be a little fluffier. This is what I like to use for my base of my eyeshadow. Paisley has smaller eyelids, so I'm going to pick a smaller brush. Okay, go ahead and close your eyes. The base coat of eyeshadow, you're going to start at the outside corner and you're going to work your way in to the eye. Don't start at the inside because that's not where you want the darkest part. And you're going to just blend towards the middle of her eye, of your eye, sorry. And go to this side, start on the outside corner and blend inwards. And this base eyeshadow will almost cover your complete eye, except the corners. Don't go all the way into the corners. You don't want eyeshadow in the corners of your eyes. You want to leave that for a highlight, which would be your shimmery shade right there. This next step is optional. You don't always have to do it. If you're not comfortable with makeup, leave this part out until you get a little more comfortable with your brush. You can add the darker shade, which is this darker brown. Close your eyes, please. And we're gonna add this to the very corners of her eye, and we are going to blend in. This is just gonna create more dimension with her eyeshadow. But this part could get a little tricky, so if you're not comfortable with eyeshadow yet, leave this part out and just stick to one shade. Okay. Our next step with our eyeshadow is going to be our highlight. So places you want to put a highlight would be in the corners of your eye and right above the outside corner. So I'm going to use this highlight shade right here, and highlight always has a shimmer. Your other eyeshadows are matte, which means no shimmer. You don't want any shimmer in your other eyeshadows. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush, and we're gonna go right above here, and we're gonna go right in the corners of her eyes. Very little shimmer goes a long way. Okay, let it open. Beautiful. Our next step is gonna be our blush. When you use blush, you're gonna use a big blush brush so it blends really well. This is the blush that I like to use. When you pick a blush, you wanna pick more of a neutral shade. Look for a mauve. Try to stay away from the bright pink blushes. Especially with light skin tones, blushes are gonna be very dark. When you do blush, you're gonna start, smile Paisley. You're gonna look for the apples of her cheeks when she smiles. You're gonna see that round part. You're gonna start there, and you're gonna come up at a diagonal. And if you would like to add a little bronzer, my favorite bronzer is the Butter Bronzer. Bronzers do have a lot of shimmer, and I like this Butter Bronzer because it does not have a lot of shimmer. And when you add bronzer, you want to do right at the top of the forehead, chin up, underneath the chin, which can tickle, and the outside of the temples. So we just completed Paisley's blush and bronzer. I'm gonna go back to eyes at this point, and we're gonna do liner. Liner always comes after your eyeshadow. So she's already got a nice eyeshadow on, and we're gonna do liner. You can use liner in a eyeshadow or a pencil. For younger kids, I prefer to do eyeshadow when I do liner. And then you're gonna use an angled brush, and close your eyes. You're gonna start right at the crease of the upper lash, right in the middle, and you're gonna come up. This just makes the liner look a little softer than using a pencil. I'm gonna do a pencil on the other eye to show you the difference. Close your eye, open your eye and look up. When you do the liner on the lower lash, you're gonna wanna look upwards and open your eye nice and wide, and you're just gonna dab the corner and go in just to the middle of the eye. Don't bring your liner all the way to the corner. For this one, I'm gonna use the liner pencil. Make sure your liner pencil is sharp when you use it as well. And I'm just gonna start at the middle, and I'm gonna go up towards the outside of her lash. Does the same thing. This is gonna give you a wider, darker line, and this is gonna give you a little bit of more of a blended line. Look up. If you don't like the way that the liner stopped, turn this way a little bit, right in the middle, close your eye. You can take your angled brush and just pull it and blend it a little bit more there to fix that line. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna move on to mascara. These are my two favorite mascaras. We have Lash Princess and we have Great Lash Maybelline. And they're both fairly cheap mascaras. So mascaras should be changed every 3 months. Open and look straight ahead. When you do mascara, you want to first start by going in an upward motion. Once you did that, you're gonna take the lash and you're gonna go back and forth. It helps coat each lash a little bit better. Oops. And if you get a little bit on yourself, no worries. You can take a makeup wipe and dab. It comes right off. And I'm just gonna do this lash a little bit more so you can see. Turn this way a little bit, Paisley. Perfect. And then back and forth, back and forth. Perfect. Now that we've finished our look, we're gonna end with our lipstick. You wanna pick a neutral color and try to stay away from the really, really dark reds or the really, really bright reds. This is a great gloss lipstick that Paisley has. You're gonna wanna put it on all the way on the top lip and the lower lip, and then go ahead and blot and move your lips around. And she's all done. Thank you, Paisley.